This video explains when and how to estimate a model with ordinary least square methods. Now we work with the linear regression model as you see it in the next equation. Whether OLS is applicable to estimate beta and sigma square epsilon depends on the data characteristics of y and x. OLS, the short version for ordinary least square, is the method of choice if the data shares the following features. First, x is measured without measurement error and can hence be treated as being a constant. Technically, this assumption is called weak exogeneity assumption. Second, y and x share a linear relationship, also called linearity assumption. Notice, due to weak exogeneity, x is treated as a non-random constant, and hence any form of deterministic transformation, such as for example a polynomial transformation, can be applied to any member of X. Third, the innovation term is a white noise term. And fourth, there is no multicollinearity between the different columns of X. That says that no covariate is a linear function of the other covariates. Alright, now moving on, notice that OLS provides only unbiased and consistent estimates for beta, sigma square epsilon, and therefore also for epsilon, if the data at hand shares the above mentioned four features. If your data violates at least one of these features, and you still estimate the unknown parameters by OLS, your resulting investment and risk management advice is likely misguided. Now let's look at the well-known OLS solutions and let's add a little bit of intuition to these. Now let's start with the estimate for beta, which takes the form as you see in the next equation. So here you see you will have to invert x prime x and then multiply by x prime y. The inversion works fine if x is not multicollinear. Now let's go to the next equation. Here you see how to get the residual, the estimated residual. You just plug in the estimate for beta multiplied by x and subtract y from x beta. Now in order to get the variance of the white noise error, you take the previously calculated estimate for the epsilons, square them and add them up, which in matrix notation is just epsilon prime epsilon, and you want the average squared term, so you divide by t minus p minus 1. Note, we've estimated 1 plus p parameters, and therefore we adjust the t by p minus 1. Now let's go to the precision. Now every estimate itself is a random variable. If you change the sample, you change the estimate. Now a notion for the precision is given by the variance term here. So the estimated variance of your beta estimate is nothing else than you take the variance of the residual and multiply that by x prime x to the minus 1. Now that will give you a matrix. And if you want the standard error of a specific parameter, beta I, look at the next equation, you see that you simply take, if you want I goes from 0 to p, so if you want the ith parameter, you take the ith diagonal entry of the covariance matrix, and then you take the square root out of that. Now if you want the t statistic of your beta estimate, you simply take, as shown in this equation, the beta estimate and you divide that by its respective standard error. Now, if you want to know how much does the linear model explain in terms of variance of the y variable, you can determine the r square. And the r square is here defined as 1 minus the variance of the residuals multiplied by t minus p minus 1, and then you divide by the variance of y times t minus 1. Now, if you want the adjusted r square, then you use the following formula. 1 minus the variance of the residual divided by the variance of y.
Got feedback? We would love to hear it. Please drop us a line. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.